Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca and wow, I am so excited to be with you today. We haven't done a favorites video in a while. I think I skipped last month because May was a bit of a wash for me. Anyway, today it is time for my June favorites, and this video is very kindly sponsored by Warby Parker. In these videos, I really like to highlight plants, plant products, and just practices that I've been implementing in the last month and share them with you to maybe inspire you or help you to look around each month to find what your personal favorites are. First on the list is right behind me. This is my Philodendron Splendid, which is the Philodendron Melanochrysum verrucosum cross. And I used to call it the Philodendron Melanochrysum verrucosum cross every single time I said that plant. And then I found out that it has like a name called the Philodendron Splendid. And it is splendid indeed. If you are going to splurge on a plant at any point in your life, I feel like the Philodendron Splendid is a splendid choice because it's a really great grower and it's absolutely beautiful. You take two very needy plants, the Melanochrysum and the verrucosum, both of which I've had terrible experiences with. I would try again with the verrucosum, and I have considered that, but the Melanochrysum is sort of, I'm done with that. If you saw my video about plants that I was influenced by and I regret it, that plant was very high on the list. But the verrucosum, I feel like I would be willing to try that heartbreak again. We'll just have to see. But anyway, it has recently entered back into my good graces because I have been growing it up a plank for the last 6 months. And since that has happened, it has put out so many beautiful leaves, increasing in size each time they came out. And I feel like that is the reason that this plant is back on my favorites list, because before it was putting out like tiny baby growth, and we just got a new leaf that is absolutely stunning. And with the Splendid, I really like when you can see the fact that the plant has verrucosum in it. Like verrucosum is one of my favorite aroids. It's so beautiful. Hard to keep, but I think it's so beautiful because the veins just look like they're glowing. They look like somebody hooked up like those like neon strip lights behind the leaf and like turned it on. That is what the verrucosum feels like to me. It is so beautiful. I love the veins, love the fuzzy leaves. And so anytime the Splendid gets those really big leaves, the veins just pop out so much more, and I think it is so lovely. I am currently in the process of air layering this plant to, I don't know, try to propagate it so that the current leaves, the current biggest leaves coming out, will be at the bottom of the plant. So I'm basically like starting the plant over, if you know what I mean. And I'm hoping that with this full plank, that by the time it gets all the way up to the top, we will be looking at some leaves that, you know, could be mistaken for a conservatory leaf. We'll just have to see. I would like to see maybe if I could put a piece of this in the greenhouse and see how it would do out there. But it is really loving sitting in the south window in my, what is this? Sunroom. So we'll just have to see what I end up doing with it. The greenhouse is still very heavily under construction, so we will just have to see later which plants I'm gonna put in. I keep bringing it up like, oh, I might put this plant in there. But I really don't know at this point what functions the greenhouse is going to have. Now for my next favorite item, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I have had some new glasses in the last couple of videos, and they are from Warby Parker. I am so excited to tell you about them today. Warby Parker offers everything you need to have happy eyes. So from glasses to sunglasses, contact lenses, eye exams, you can shop online and in person. Their glasses start at $95, including prescription, and I really like to add on things to my lenses to just enhance them to be better for me. So they have anti-fatigue lenses, and then they also have blue light filtering lenses. Warby Parker has what is called the at-home try-on kits, so you can order these for free online. They ship for free, and you can order this at warbyparker.com/delaplants. And I ordered a few, you know, bits and bobs to try on with you because why not? I have these glasses that I just got, but I also got some sunglasses, and having prescription sunglasses has really like made my life so much better. I really enjoy it. So if you're also looking for prescription sunglasses, you can head over to Warby Parker for that too. I've always liked the idea of these like thin wire frames, but I don't think they suit me. So it's nice to be able to try them on. I love clear glasses. I just think they're such a look. I feel like I want a pair of these. I used to have the Haskell's that were clear with like a tortoise shell circle. those were definitely my favorite. Okay, I'm gonna try on these sunglasses because having prescription sunglasses, you guys, again, has changed my life. And their prescription sunglasses have polarized lenses, and they have 100% UV protection. So anyway, those are just a few of the pairs that I picked up. And I really enjoy being able to like try these on at home. Sometimes when you're trying on glasses in person, like at your eye doctor or something, it can feel like a lot of pressure to make a decision. I know that I haven't always had great experiences with that because then you also have like everybody's opinion. I just find it best when I'm like at home and I can do it on my own and make decisions. But also if you just want to get started trying on glasses, you can download the Warby Parker app and try on the glasses that way. It's super, super accurate. I've really enjoyed doing that too. Anyway, you guys know how much I love Warby Parker, especially because for every pair of glasses sold, they donate a pair of glasses. And from the beginning, over 10 million pairs of glasses have been distributed worldwide, which is so awesome. So if you're interested in checking out Warby Parker for a new pair of glasses or sunglasses, you can head over to warbyparker.com/daylaplants. It would really support my channel and it would support your eyes. So we love supporting our eyes. Okay, the next thing is a product, and that is Seven. I purchased this, I think, at a local nursery in St. Louis or something when I was visiting because I was having a spider mite problem on my vegetables. Oh no, maybe I got this here in Columbia. I don't remember. Anyway, I got it at a garden center. And I was having spider mites on my tomatoes before I even was able to plant them outside. And so I was like, well, shoot, what do I do? And I usually make a concoction of rubbing alcohol, dish soap, and water, just like a little bit of each, like mostly water, a splash of rubbing alcohol, and then like a squirt of dish soap. People always ask me what my ratios are for things like that. Honestly, I am your Latina grandmother who just tells you to put a cup of this, a pinch of this. Like, I don't know. I just like throw stuff in a bottle, shake it up, and it works really well. But for this, for some reason, I was just nervous and I really, really needed the plants to pull through. I do oftentimes turn to those natural remedies because they are easy just to make at home. But I do find that finding products like Seven or Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew, those things are pretty much foolproof and they will work every time. I found some plants that had spider mites back here, and I actually discovered that in a plant chores video, like I was filming while I discovered it. So I kind of gave a little crash course show and tell of how I, take care of spider mites when I find them. I just spray this on the leaf, let it sit. It says that it kills on contact, okay? So I don't know exactly how quickly that is, but I spray the front of the leaf, the back of the leaf, wait a few minutes, and then I will wipe it down with a microfiber cloth to just like remove any webbing or eggs or anything like that left behind after the adults are hopefully killed on contact, if this sticker is accurate. And then after I do that, I'll spray it down one more time just to let that sit on the plant until I spray it again the next day. So I'll spray for like 3 days and then wait a couple days and then do another 3 days, just because that's the typical life cycle of a spider mite. A spider mite? How do you refer to a single spider mite? I guess spider mite. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much what I do for that. So I really suggest getting something like this or the Captain Jack's Dead Bug Brew just to have it on hand. Unless you have like a major infestation, you are most likely not going to go through this very quickly. So make the investment. I think it's like $3, $4, $5 at the most. Okay, the next item up for discussion is this pothos. I think it is a pearls and jade. I don't remember. I'll have to look back at footage from when I bought this, but anyway, it's looking so good. This has been living under a grow light, a new grow light underneath my TV stand from Mother, and it has been so happy. We've got like, this whole thing is pretty much new growth, like these 3 leaves just in the last like 2 weeks that I've had it under there. So it's definitely very happy, and I would even say that it's putting out growth at a more rapid rate than it would if it was just like sitting in this room. Like, it looks really good, and I'm super happy with it. Let me show you what this new growth looks like. It is just so beautiful. I haven't had one of these since the very beginning of my plant journey. I was pretty severely scarred by a pothos like this. Very early on. If you know, you know. No need to go into details about the situation because it is very embarrassing and funny. But if you find that video, just go enjoy it on your own, but I'm not gonna link it. Anyway, It's sitting in this really beautiful pot that is, I got it from a local nursery called Vintage Hill. And this potter is Bruning Pottery. I think that's what that says. And they're out of Washington. And Vintage Hill carries a lot of their stuff. I don't know if they sell online, but it's very beautiful pottery. And I got 3 plants in that trip, and they all have like coordinating pots, and I think they're so pretty. So also, do we see this yellow leaf at the bottom? Let me do a little crash course on yellow leaves. Okay, so it is at the bottom of the pot. It is clearly one of the oldest leaves on the plant. Are we worried about this? No, very good, we're not worried. So yeah, we're not worried about this because it's clearly a very old leaf and the plant is actively putting out new growth. So it's normal for a plant to shed old leaves as it is putting its energy into new leaves. So what do we do with these leaves? Just kidding, we thank them. I was gonna do another Dora thing. We thank them and we move on. That's it. No need to stress, no need to worry. Plants will let go of leaves and it is normal as long as they are putting out new growth and the plant generally looks happy. There's nothing to worry about. I say like a healthy pothos kind of feels like lettuce. And this one does feel like lettuce. If it feels like limp lettuce, you need to water it. But if it feels like nice, firm iceberg lettuce, then you're in the money. You're doing really good. Let's move on from the lettuce analogies. Our next topic of discussion is wood. So we're gonna talk about wood planks, and we have seen a few of my plants today already. Well, you can see them in the background, like over my head, like bunny ears or something, and also this one here. But I have been utilizing planks for my plant room, and I've really enjoyed it. And I'm not gonna go super far into detail about it in this video because I want to do like a full 6-month update and like show the plants before and after. But now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think that I took really good before footage, but we'll just have to make it work. We'll do some magic with editing. Anyway, so the wood that I use, I get questions about what wood that I use, and I really like to use fence posts, cedar fence posts. That's what I use. So as you can see, this is a fence post. It has like the cropped ears here. I think they call it like a dog ear fence post or something like that. And this one is I think a let's see. I think that this one is 5 feet. It's like a little bit, is it 6 feet? I don't know. Anyway, this one's between 5 and 6 feet. And I got this one because I was planning on just like cutting it in half and using it for 2 plants, but I might actually just let a plant climb up this entire thing. And sometimes people ask like, well, what do you do when the plant reaches the top of the plank? Well, you would just cut it and then restart that plant, like propagate, like chop and prop basically, and then either plant back into the base of the plant or start a new plant. And you know, from there the plant will probably branch and it'll be really beautiful. But for the most part, none of my plants have like attached their roots to the plank of wood. They're mostly just resting on it and it's like giving it a spot to just lean against. And just having the ability to lean against the plank has made my plants grow like crazy, as I discussed with the Philodendron Splendid earlier. So I don't know, I think that it's a really great thing to do. I have found so many more results doing this than I ever did with moss poles and bamboo stakes and all of these things that I was doing. I just never had good results and it was very disappointing. I thought that I was the problem. And perhaps I was, because with moss poles you have to keep them wet in order for the plant to like really adhere to them and grow. You know, for some reason, even with the plant just leaning against the moss pole, it still wasn't enough. So I don't know if the plant can detect moss versus wood. Like, I really don't know the deep science of it all. I feel like I need to ask that question to Leslie Halleck in the Bloom and Grow Garden Society. I talked a few weeks ago about how Bloom and Grow Radio has a garden society, and they have a, like, it's basically like Netflix for houseplant lovers. That's what Maria calls it. And I have a 3-day free trial if you guys are interested in that. I'll have it linked down below since I'm mentioning it. But there's an Ask a Horticulturalist Anything section, and I feel like I really want to ask Leslie Halleck how a plant knows like what's the difference between like a moss pole and a wood plank, and like why a plant would climb the wood but not the moss. I don't know, like the dry moss, I guess, as compared to the wood, like I don't understand how it's that much different. I feel like that's a question for Leslie. So I'm gonna check and see when the next one of those sessions is so that I can ask and tell you guys what the answer is. So anyway, yeah, planks of wood, really awesome. I think that this was like $5 as well. So it's very, very cheap, despite wood being a little bit expensive, and especially since this is cedar. I feel like $5 is way less than people spend on moss poles and moss pole supplies. Actually, I know that for a fact. It is way cheaper than moss pole supplies. Keep an eye out for my 6-month update. I will tell you everything that I would do differently and the things that I was really happy about and all the things involved in plants on planks. Okay, normally in these videos I talk about full plants, but I actually just want to talk about this one leaf. This leaf on my Albo monstera is so beautiful. Like, it actually gives me butterflies. There is actually no white space on this plant, and I think maybe for some people that's like kind of sad, but for me, I really love when my monsteras are like super marbly and have like lots of different variations of green. I just think that's the best, especially knowing that the white parts are eventually going to die off. I mean, it's gonna take a really, really long time before that happens if the plant is in a good state and it's healthy, but still, just knowing that those brown spots are gonna happen inevitably, it makes me sad. So seeing a leaf like this one is very happy for me because I know that it's going to sort of balance out the plant really well, and there's like no fear of reversion because there is so much marbling and like variety of color. Normally where there would be a white margin, it's showing like a sagey green color, and that is just the best. That is definitely my favorite color, and when it shows up on variegated leaves, it makes me so happy. I also get a lot of questions about how to care for the Alba monstera or the Thai constellation. And the only difference I would say between those two plants and the regular green Monstera deliciosa is that the Thai constellation, I have seen a lot of people have root rot issues with that one. So honestly, like, I wouldn't take any risks with watering these plants. Like, I haven't seen a ton of root rot issues with the Albo monstera, but I would say make sure that they are in like very good draining soil. And the De La Tanks, which is a soil that I co-created with Tanks Green Stuff, is a really great soil for monsteras. I mean, every plant that I have in that soil is really happy, but specifically I've heard a lot of really great feedback about people's monsteras being extra happy in them. If you are nervous about buying them because you feel like it's going to be a scary plant to take care of, I would definitely say to just like forget that, because they are super easy to take care of. Maybe not the most responsible thing for me to say online, but you know what I mean? Like, if you have the green monstera and it's really happy in your care and it's doing fine, there's no reason why the variegated versions wouldn't also be happy in your home, considering you have a spot for them to get plenty of light, because they do have those white and cream margins, which means that there's less green space on the plant, and the green space is where the plant is actually absorbing that light and nutrients. So the white parts of the leaf are pretty much useless. They're just beautiful, but they're useless. So as long as they're getting a good amount of light, they should be okay. The next thing that I want to talk about is just a concept, and that is the concept of shopping your home for plants and rearranging your home to make new plant spaces. So a few months ago, maybe close to a year ago, I don't really know, I don't remember, but I interviewed my friend Paige and we did a video about designing your home with plants, how to go about decorating your home with plants in mind, and also, you know, making it look beautiful and not just like clusters of messy plants. And that video was really, really helpful for me. It really helped me, you know, sort of pinpoint some things that I need to be better at with my interiors and my planteriors in general. And the room that we actually made over was my office / guest bedroom, and that room didn't really have plants in it over the last couple of months, I guess, because I had all of my ficus and the plants that I put outside in that room because it's a space for my huge plants. But yeah, ever since I moved those out, I haven't really had anything in there, and I was feeling a little weird like existing in a room with that much light with no plants in it. So I thought to myself, my first thought was actually, oh, I get to go shopping for more plants. And then I was like, wait. There have been some plants that have just ended up on the floor in my plant room because I don't really have a space for them. And I thought to myself, okay, let's just shop the plant room. So I walked into this room and I found some plants that just were either on the floor or were extra cluttered in a space that just like looked like too much was going on, and so I moved all of those into that spare room, and now I have them set up on the TV stand piece of furniture that I have in there. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Sideboard, I don't really know. I think it's originally a TV stand, but it's from Target, and I store my fabric in it, so it's being used for something random. It's just like an under the window bench type of thing. If you're interested in seeing that video about how to decorate your space with plants in a way that doesn't feel overcrowded or messy, definitely check that video out and follow Paige on Instagram. She has a lot of great inspo, and she just had a cute baby. It's so exciting. So anyway, yeah, I really loved the concept of like shopping my home and bringing plants from cluttered areas into spaces that are sort of empty. And also, if I ever feel discontent with my plant collection, one of my favorite things to do is just rearrange things. Like when I did my plant wall here, I was feeling discontent with my space and my plants for a long time, and I just felt like I really needed a change. And that is why I did this big undertaking with my plant wall. And I really am so happy that I did that, because it has reinvigorated my love for this space, for my houseplant collection, and just like in general designing spaces. Like it made me realize that I really love creating plant installations. And yeah, so if you are ever bored or discontent with your collection, you're looking for some changes, and you might, like your knee-jerk reaction might be to go shopping, I would highly suggest, instead of doing that, just rearranging things and putting plants in different rooms that they normally wouldn't be in and things like that. It really does help. Okay, the last plant that I'm sharing in this video is my king anthurium, and it's like almost too big for the framing of this lens, so sorry about that, but look at how gorgeous this leaf is. It is so lovely. This is the newest leaf that my king anthurium has put out, and admittedly this plant has not put out a ton of leaves since I've had it, but it holds on to its leaves for a long time, and it's just one of those plants that is just like there and it's stable, and I really couldn't ask more of it, honestly. So yeah, it put out this leaf I think a couple weeks ago, and it's almost perfect. It does have a hole right here and right here, which honestly at this point in owning anthurium, I have sort of accepted that it's going to be hard to have an anthurium leaf that is absolutely pristine and perfect for the entirety of its life. So the king anthurium is one of those anthurium that is very easy to take care of. When I was getting this plant, I was really nervous, but a bunch of people told me, plus the person I bought it from told me, that it really is more like a monstera deliciosa than an anthurium, because it's just very easy to care for. It doesn't need a ton of humidity like other anthurium do, like the velvet leaf anthurium. And these leaves do actually feel much more similar to that of a monstera deliciosa. These are a bit softer, I'll say, but you know, generally they feel basically the same. And I think that is a big reason why it has been successful in my collection, just being like out and about. Like I've never had this in an enclosure or anything like that. I never had it in a place where it was getting like mega humidity. Maybe the only place that I really tried to give it more humidity was when we were living in my apartment in Tucson, and it was in my bathroom, but really that was the only situation that I had where it was getting like more humidity than the rest of my house. And even then I think my bathroom only ever got to like 30 or 40% humidity, which is actually crazy to think about. Someone asked me on my Instagram like what to do if your humidity is like really low. I don't really know what to tell you, because I tried to take care of plants with really low humidity like that needed high humidity, and they pretty much never did well unless I had them directly next to a humidifier that I ran constantly. And if you're already in a dry place, you know, is it responsible to be constantly refilling a humidifier? I'm not sure if I want to weigh in on that, because I have a lot of stress around water scarcity, especially in the Southwest, so I'm probably not the best person to ask that question to. But anyway, yeah, if you have plants that need a lot of humidity and you don't live in a place that gets a lot of like natural humidity, I would suggest investing in greenhouse cabinets, like either the ones from IKEA or refinishing a piece of furniture yourself if you find something on Marketplace. Finding ways to seal it and make sure it's not going to get moldy and create like a hazard in your home. but I would suggest enclosed spaces for plants that need high humidity if you don't live in a place like Missouri where the ambient humidity outside right now is probably 80%, and I really am miserable when I'm out there, but the plants really love it. So that would be my suggestion for that. I really can't think of anything more because misting is not going to increase the humidity beyond the first few seconds that the water is sitting on the leaves. It's really only going to bring more dust and debris and bacteria on those leaves. So if you are a mister, I suggest not doing that anymore. And again, with the humidifier, I mean, you're using a lot of water, and you have to use distilled water, which can really get expensive if you're having to do that every single day, 24/7. You probably will have to fill it up every day, which is a lot. So anyway, those jugs are heavy. If you couldn't tell, I'm just over the distilled water thing. I kind of have a humidifier running in here in the winter time, but I don't think I'm gonna do that this winter just because I don't even think it was worth the stress of filling it up and getting the water delivered and everything else. So anyway, rambling over on that. This is my beautiful new king anthurium leaf, and I'm really excited about it. And also I have to say, can you see that beautiful bloom? Oh my gosh, this little flower piece actually held on to the pollen that fell off of the leaf or the flower, because I wasn't going to collect the pollen from it. Like, I don't know why, but I just didn't think to, because I don't know if I have an anthurium that can actually mate with the king anthurium, because certain anthurium can only be crossed with certain anthurium, and somebody left that comment on one of my videos, and I still need to figure out which ones go with which. But I currently have clarinervium pollen and I have veitchii pollen in my freezer, so we will just have to see what I can use them on. I know that I can use them on themselves, but it's probably gonna be a while before I get another flower on at least the king that I can pollinate, so we'll just have to see. Okay, the last thing that I wanna share is another just general idea, and that is reconnecting with our inner child. So I feel like as plant people, we get to experience this quite a bit when we have our hands in dirt and we're just kind of making a mess in our homes. And it just is a really sweet feeling to feel like you're reconnecting with your inner child and just like nurturing her. And one of the things that I did last week to do that is I set out a quilt on my grass. It was a particularly pleasant day among the really, really hot and humid days that we've been having. So I laid out a quilt and I brought out a bunch of painting supplies. And a few weeks ago, I bought some bird houses. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. And if you've ever gone to Michael's with your parent or your whoever on like a summer day, like they're trying to find things to entertain you. And so you go to the little wood section of the craft store and you find the unfinished pieces right next to the acrylic paint, and it's just like a match made in heaven. So basically I bought 3 of these birdhouses. It was buy one get two free. So I really couldn't pass it up. I know that I'm a grown woman, adult, all of the things, but I saw these and I was like, I have to. Do I think that a bird is actually gonna move into this? I have no idea. It is like quite flimsy. I don't even know if this would survive one season outside. I feel like it would fall apart. Either way, I probably will hang these up outside in various places. But what I did was I sat outside and I listened to an audiobook and I listened to some music and I freaking painted birdhouses. And it was so much fun to just like disconnect from the world in a way, you know, like especially in a time such as now when it just feels like it is like constantly bad news. And, you know, it's important to tune in and like know what's happening, but there's also a certain degree of like, how much bad news can my mentality take? Especially when it is our bodies. So anyway, I have been really enjoying laying outside on a blanket and reconnecting with my inner child and just having moments where I am in nature and just connected and not on my phone and not doom scrolling, which is really hard not to do, especially right now. And so yeah, that's what I've been up to. If I'm not working, I'm probably sitting outside on a blanket, looking at the sky, watching the clouds, just pondering and listening to books and things like that, and painting birdhouses. So let me introduce you to all of them. This is the boathouse because the construction here reminds me a lot of a boat. I find it the most appealing. It's very minimal. It's very beautiful, I would say. So this is like my adult version of this. Then we have the Copenhagen house. And this one really reminded me of those really colorful houses right on the river in Copenhagen. I've never been there, but I would really love to go there. But this just reminded me of that, like the shape of this. So I wanted to make it a really nice like blue color. I don't know how, I think that it's actually coming up a little bit washed out on screen, but it is like a nice rich blue color with a yellow roof. And then this one was honestly a pain to paint. Like I think it looks probably the worst out of all of them, but from the front it looks pretty cute. So we've got all of our beautiful flowers. This is the flower powerhouse and I love it. So orange roof, blue house, lots of colorful flowers. So yeah, it was really fun. And I would suggest it if you are looking for ways to just sort of slow down your life. Head over to the craft store unfinished wood section and see what you can find. I actually just had a memory. My mom would take me there and I would buy these little boxes with like the metal tops and then I would put roly-polies in them and it was very cute. So if you've seen the video with my mom, you know that I used to catch roly-polies and I would oftentimes either put them in a shoebox or put them in one of those craft store unfinished wood boxes, you know, just kid stuff. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much to Warby Parker for sponsoring this video. I love my new glasses and sunglasses. Having prescription sunglasses changed my life. Like I will never look back. I always thought it was kind of nerdy and I just really wish that I did it sooner because I love wearing glasses. But it's just not great putting sunglasses over your glasses. Like, why was I doing that for so many years? It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, you can head over to warbyparker.com/daylaplants if you want them to know that I sent you. And yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Let me know what favorites you have for the month of June, what products and plants stuck out to you. And I think that's all I have to say. So thank you so much for watching this video and I will see you in the next one. Bye.